Think we're live. Oh, we're on. That's it. All right. Nice. Let's see who can join us today. Let's see if that means that we are going live. We are live. Awesome. That's what I like to see. Good stuff. All right, let's get to this. Got the camera going. Let's get out our RFX probes. We'll see who joins in, if anybody. It's time. It is time to get this thing on. What are we at? What is our temperature? Rocking out at 225. Nicey nice. Let's get this camera on. Cool. All right. Where do I want it to go on? Do I want it to go with the bone side towards the firebox? Or do I want to go with the big fat side towards the firebox? What is going on with this camera? I gotta love this thing. It is gonna drive me nuts all day long. I think that's what this was made for, just to drive me absolutely crazy. I'm over here, camera. Follow daddy. Here I am. Look at me. Here I am, camera. Oh, that's better. There we go. Who's in here? Anybody in the chat? Who's lurking? Nobody's lurking yet. We're live? We are live. Coming to you live and direct on the Smokeslinger channel and the Liberty Night. Oh, no, excuse me. The Smoker Builder channel and the Smokeslinger channel. All the channels. We are going live. Well, we'll get that on next. Let's get what we need set up. Nothing ever seems to go right. I got that camera there, this camera here. Hopefully this thing's going to do its AI tracking the right way. That's all we could ask for. Let's get these probes in before we start. Just get it going. So, obviously Murphy's Law playing into play. Finally got the tent up, but with the tent up, that didn't really help us here too much because now it decided to stop raining. Why wouldn't it? That's just the way that it goes. I'm going to put these, what are these things? The Thermoworks RFX probes into the meat because this is a big piece of meat. And just to be sure that everything's going the right way, I want to have all the probes in, or as many probes as possible. So this is kind of like a test to see how the probes work as well. Oh, yeah. I don't know how deep they have to go. We'll find out. We're going to find out soon enough. I'm putting 4 probes in today. 1, 2, 3. Let's put one on the other side. Hopefully this works out for us. Doing the best that I can under these adverse weather conditions. Let's see. Sort of kind of like this spot, right? Oh, there's a bone there. That's not a good spot because it's always going to register the wrong temp. But right here, that looks good. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that should do it. Believe so. All right. So Temperature's holding nicely. Well, it went up a little bit. I say we just go for it. Got to get it on. Oh, here we go. 37 pounds USDA bone-in brisket. Check that out. Here it is. We're getting this on the Liberty 94. I'm going to go with the bone surface towards the firebox. Ooh, that's a big boy. That is definitely a big boy. Let's try to get that centered. Yes, we are on. Awesome. Maybe we'll move it down just a little bit. Okay, that's that. Now the low and slow process begins. Here we go. Bad boys for life. Oh boy, who we got here? Good morning, Daddy Dutch. Daddy Dutch, you are the first one here this morning to see what's going down. We're doing the. Oh, what is going on with this camera? It just doesn't like to play. Here we go. We're doing a 37-pound boned in USDA prime brisket. I put it here on the Smokeslinger, on the, I put it on the Liberty 94. We're going low and slow, and we'll see how this turns out. This is a complete experiment. I've seen other people do a bone in, but never something of this size. Uh, if you didn't see a little bit earlier, I had done, well, actually, you didn't see it because I didn't go live at that point. I recorded video, but didn't put it up. What I had done was I trimmed it up just a little bit, not much. I just took off a little bit of the fat. In no way is this one of those perfectly aerodynamic briskets where we're going to see the meteor. This is what it is. I took off just a couple of pieces of hanging meat and trimmed down the fat a slight bit because fat that's this thick is not going to render down properly. And it's definitely, with all that seasoning, it's just going to go to waste. So I had to bring it down to probably about a quarter of an inch, maybe a little bit more than that. And that's how we're rolling this morning. We are at the, what rib competition? Just hanging out right now. Turning is until 5. Which competition are you at? Man, I used to love doing the competitions, but without a catering business, when you win, then what do you do? So just, it wasn't working out for me. But check this out. We are rocking, see if you can see that. We're rocking a perfect 225. I know it's backwards. It's probably a way for me to reverse the camera. We'll hold it a perfect 225 in Nebraska. My goodness. You get to travel a lot. You're my hero. I'm just glad to be back. Oh my God. Just sat on the charger and stuck it right up my coolie. Oh man. I've been up since 4 a.m. out here and inside getting everything prepared. So it's been one of those mornings. 29 degrees. What temperature is it here? Because I have Murphy's Law in play. Everything was great. I would say it's probably about 50 degrees this morning, if that, maybe 45. No rain, a little bit of an overcast. And the moment the pit is lit, I'm seasoning everything up. I bring it upstairs. I'm ready to put it on. And that's when we get the torrential downpour. So I had to put up a pop-up tent, get other things going. Screw this Murphy. Whoever Murphy is should be cursed for this law that they came up with, because Murphy is absolutely ruining my cook. How unfortunate is that? And it is quite, it's getting chilly now because I'm wet and I'm out here. Ah, so what are you guys cooking on this morning? You have an offset, a barrel cooker. What are you guys cooking on? Put it in the comments. And maybe what I'll do, probably makes sense, is to just drop something in the chat like this. So other people can join in if they choose. There you go. Now we can all go live. Isn't that wonderful? Believe that went out to everybody at once. Think so. Well, we'll find out soon enough. What a day this is turning out to be. All I wanted to do was to get a nice cook in, relax at the house. Everybody's leaving, so I got the whole place to myself. But I don't think it's going to be so nice. Let's see. Let's drop that in here as well. Oh yeah, that put that out on the Smokeslinger site as well for Facebook. Got to share the wealth. Can't believe how cold it is. Huh. Well, anybody that wants to join in is more than welcome to. Someone asked me the other day if I would go live. It was actually Tuesday during our podcast with Frank Cox. I'd mentioned I'd be doing a big cook this weekend, and people asked me to go live. And I just had this premonition that if I would have started streaming at 4 o'clock this morning, sitting outside, we're doing a live stream for the next, could be 16 to 18 hours on a 37-pound brisket. That that wasn't going to be the best idea. Not at all. But we're holding the right temperatures now. Everything's looking good. The internal temperature of the meat is 52 degrees. I probably need to turn these other probes on because they all say disabled and they need to be enabled. There we go. Let's set an alarm on this one. Yeah, we can go 165. That's fine. That'll give me enough time. I like that idea. Turn them all on. Awesome sauce. Let's see, Eddie. What else is going to go down today? I'm having the type of morning where it's 8:40 and I'm ready to have a breakfast beer, but I'm tempted to go over to alcohol and maybe just go straight to the Bloody Mary because it's that type of morning. I don't know. What's your thoughts? Do we just go straight to the alcohol, or is that too crazy? I think it's alcohol time. Definitely sensing the need for drinking. I don't get them all up at once. So there we go. Now everybody's up at the same time. Now we're cooking with gas. I like that. It is a Bloody Mary breakfast. Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna go inside in a couple of minutes. Go grab some vodka. Oh shit! I left the beer in the freezer. He's right back. I can't believe I left the beer in the freezer. Let me grab that first. 2 minutes. how about now? Do we have the audio back? Was that it? Can you hear me now? I hope that did it. Yeah, that's crazy. What do I do with my settings? It says the audio settings now are showing me that it's working. And I can hear it too. So if somebody's talking, I can hear him. Oh, yeah, we're good. I think it was probably the Bluetooth headset. Whatever. We'll get rid of those. We'll just go to the built-in microphone. No problem. Probably when I put them down or something. Who knows? It is freezing out here. Thank you for keeping me in touch with the real world and what's going on, because I could have been talking the entire time and it would have been completely muted. So what time is your turn in for your ribs today? You're doing let's see. If you're in Nebraska, that means you're at least an hour behind me. That makes it 7:45. So your first turn in's got to be at about 10 a.m., which would be 11 a.m. my time. So I'm here in Pennsylvania. I'm sure that makes sense somehow. This thing I got to charge. Next time I go and plug it in. And the meat, nothing I can do. It's going to do its own thing. Definitely got to throw another stick in because I'm looking at that. It is stick time. 5 p.m. is the first turn in. Why so late? That is definitely late. A 5 p.m. turn. Let's get a stick in. See if you can follow where I'm going. I think the camera will follow me. Let's see. We've got to go a little bit slower. There we go. Here's a nice big ass. Oh, they did it again. What is with this camera? Why does it keep doing that? Follow me. Don't just look at me. Look at me. Look at me. AI camera. Look at me. There we go. Come over this way. There we go. Follow. There we go. Nice stick. Throw one of those on top. There we go. Nice. And we're back. Boy, this thing it's going to make everybody dizzy as long as it keeps spinning around like that. Oh, it's only ribs. Oh, that's why. All right, so you're not doing like a KCBS for me turning. So what are you cooking on again? Are you using a barrel cooker? Are you using an offset? Or what type of cooker do you guys normally use? It's going nicely. Nice. I gotta remember. The other thing is that it's taking the. No, that says 225, but I think because I put the meat on, what it did is it took the grate temperature, since the meat is clearly ice cold, so it dropped the grate temperature. That's okay. Still could have used a stick anyway. And I got a shipment of, I think about, oh man, I got 3 cases of post oak coming here today. So that's what I'm waiting on. I don't want to keep using this white oak, and I think it's more red oak, but I don't want to use this white oak or red oak. I want to go over to the traditional Texas post oak. And this thing's only gonna at about 150 degrees. That's the end of whatchamacallit, of getting the smoke flavor anyway. So hopefully that gets here before it does. I go through all this other wood. I have inside, I think, about 3/4 of a quart. God, beer for breakfast is excellent. What are you drinking? If you're drinking anything. It's freezing. That thing's holding nice. You ever use one of these things? I'm sure you've heard of it. I've seen it on the internet. This is that new RFX, the wireless system. So that's what I hooked up. What are you sipping on? Oh, El Presidente's here. He built this. El Presidente built this for me. Yeah. I'm drinking a Yingling Bach. And El Presidente, for the first time ever, there's a prime 37-pound bone-in brisket on your bad boy right here. So this should make for some interesting content for those people that are interested in knowing how to use an offset. And obviously, outside of a brisket that you'd go get at your local grocery store, if you're in Texas, an HEB, or a Sam's Club, or a Walmart, or a Costco, or whatever your supermarket is, this is a different cut. This was a hanging piece of meat, hanging on a rail, hanging on a hook. This is not grass-fed beef. This is your real Midwestern corn-fed beef. So it's full of flavor. And the marbleization on it is insane. So I'm super, super pumped to cook this thing. And I believe that most likely it's going to take me 18 hours to do a cook like this. I'm going to go from 225. Then we'll bump it up to 250. And once it's wrapped, we'll hold it at, I'll go to 275. And that's it. That 170 stage, I'll wrap it then. I'll put some tallow in, and that's it. Put it to rest and just keep feeding it a stick every now and then. What did he say here? Yeah, yes, I did. Just for you, sir. Yeah, you better believe you did. I'm sipping on this. How do I keep the comments going? Because you guys are doing the chit chat, and unfortunately, I'm kind of all by myself. Got to do my own thing here. Whew. Maybe one more layer. Maybe if I throw on a Smokeslinger apron, just one more layer of warmth. Or I could just go inside and grab a jacket. But why would I do that? Might as well sit out here and suffer in the rain and the cold. So being that you guys are out there in the middle of the country, there's been quite a few tornadoes, big storms coming through. Has that had any effect on you today or in the last couple of days since you've had these storms? Oh, you want a Liberty 94. I know somebody who fabricates these. I can put you in contact with them if you want to get a quote. www.smokeslinger.com. Go ahead and put in your zip code. Give me your email address and a phone number that I can text you on, and I'll make sure that I can get you over a quote on Liberty 94. $28.99 plus shipping. It's only a 6-week lead time, which, as far as the industry goes, typically it's a 16-week lead time for one of these 94-gallon smokers. However, Smokeslinger Brands is able to get this to you with a 6-week turnaround time and at only $28.99. This is full quarter-inch U.S. steel made right here in the United States with U.S. welders. In no way, shape, or form are we affected by any of these tariffs that are going on. And that's because we use everything right here in the United States. So God bless America. God bless our troops. That tent is beginning to move. Of course it is, because Murphy's Law is in play again. Why wouldn't I weigh it down? That would make sense. I didn't do that. Oh my God, it's freezing. It is. I am ice cold right now. Whew. Oh, we got some other comments coming in. What do we got here? Dude, that map is messed up. That's crazy. So El Presidente just sent me over a picture of the storm map. The second Saturday of every month, we end up having our Smokeslinger meetup in Canton, Texas at the fairgrounds. That's our new home base. And El Presidente, Dustin, just sent over a picture of a tornado that touched down at that park, as well as what the storm system looks like. It is like a deep, bloody red color, meaning that run, y'all in trouble. Now I'm complaining about how cold it is. You guys are in big trouble down there. Oh my goodness. Oh, like I said earlier, I started this at 4 o'clock in the morning, got up, lit the pit, and began the process. But I figured that actually I got up at 3. What am I talking about? I was up at 3. I started getting everything ready at 4, so at 5 o'clock I could get this on. But suddenly the weather changed, other things started happening, the cameras weren't operating. It's difficult when you have a team of people working with you. One person's on the camera. There's at least 1 or 2 people that can help you with the prep. So I got kind of jammed up doing this on my own. That hook echo on radio is insane. Well, I'll have to listen to that. I don't think I can hear it right now unless that's an audio clip that I can play through the phone. Then I'll just put it next to the microphone. Let's see if that works. My God, I cannot believe how cold it is. Does that make any noise? No. Oh, wow, that is crazy. Look at this. Let's go that way. That's the fairgrounds, and that's the tornado. Craziness. Is that working too? I didn't know that would work. I guess it does. Well, I think it's time to give it a little more air. Need a little more oxygen in the firebox. Let's see what's going on here. Get a shovel and maybe move around some of this coal a little bit. Adjust it some. Let's get split. Get another split on top of that. This camera is going to drive me insane. I don't know why it keeps doing that. All right, let's get another split on there. Go a nice big one like this. Keep it cracked open a little bit for right now. Come on. This camera goes everywhere but where I need it to be. Right here, buddy. There you go. There you go. The power of AI. Unbelievable. Awesome. Let's see what we got going on now. That is a massive, massive storm. Of course, you said that, and I just heard thunder in the background. That's the fairgrounds we cooked at. The hook echo is a spiral you see on radar. Gun Barrel City. Check this out. That's the tornado he's talking about. It's crazy. That is some crazy, crazy stuff. My goodness. Wow. So what are you up to this morning, Big Dustin? What's happening? Are you why don't you just come on here with me, dude? Here, how do I do this? Here's a comment. Here you go. Here's the link to the live stream. Just click on that and join us live. Make this easy on yourself. Oh, I gotta do something with this camera. How do I change this so that everything's not in reverse? Let's see here. Tracking, whiteboard. No, that's not a gesture. No. Exposure content, anti-flicker, set it. No. It's probably right there and I don't see it. Whatever. No idea. I don't care. Let me put my face on. What are you talking about? Bro, I'm in bed. Get up. Wake up. What are you doing? It's almost 8. It is. It's 7:59. It's almost 8 o'clock in the morning. You're like me. You get up at 5 a.m. Why are you sleeping in? You getting breakfast in bed? Kids out of town? Yeah, you got to get yourself. Just show up with your morning robe. Come out like Tony Soprano with just a robe on. Get the newspaper. Grab a beer or a cup of coffee and join us for the chat. Be a man. While I'm trying to figure out how to reverse this camera, which I'm sure is here. Oh, there it is. Heads up if you have an overlay. Mirror my camera. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, I fixed it. That was the problem. Now we're good. Now everything's not backwards anymore. That's cool. I like that better. Now I can get this thing out of the way. I don't need that anymore. That's already working. Nice. Cool. Maybe I could bring this a little bit closer. All right, let's go. You're in your Tony. Where did you go? Put on your morning wig. Get in here. All right, all you got to do is click on the link. El Presidente. Join in. Freezing. Oh my goodness. Oh, there he is. There he is. Add him to the stage.
Hey, what's up?
My man with the plan.
You drug me out of bed.
Well, you got dressed pretty quickly, so you must sleep in that sweatshirt.
Well, I don't have any pants on.
And neither do I. You don't need
Hey,
pants.
this is supposed to be for the OnlyFans barbecue, not for the public.
That's why it's on at this time. Only our fans are on.
Yes, you got to subscribe to that one.
That's why that's how I got the name, The Real Meat Stick. It was because of this.
What's better than the small meat stick?
Oh, it is. It is a big meat stick, the real meat stick, of course. Woo, this wind just keeps ripping through. I was out here, everything was fine, and then it just started downpouring, so I had to go get a pop-up tent.
You want to talk about wind?
Oh, I know you have wind.
Yeah, we had it here about 130 miles per hour yesterday.
TD Price is here. The man himself, Mr. Snake River Farms, is joining us. You know, TD, you want to go live? Here, join us in. Here, why don't you come in with us? Because I've got on here a big ass brisket, and you did, I think, 2 yesterday on your Smokeslinger. So you're doing the Snake River Farm Black Label. So you might as well join us in with that American Wagyu that you got. This is your opportunity. You've got me and El Presidente here. And Daddy Dutch is at a competition for ribs. He's got a 5 p.m. turn-in time. So he's cooking away too.
TD's at a competition?
Daddy Dutch is at a competition in Nebraska. He didn't tell me what type of cooker he's using.
He needs to be using a Smokeslinger.
Everybody needs to be using a Smokeslinger.
I approve that message.
You appreciate that message?
I approve it.
Oh, it's approved by the president himself? So this morning, I had this planned since Tuesday. I knew that I was headed down to the meat market on Friday. And there was I picked up some other trick stuff. But this is hanging meat on the hook, on the rail. And it's fully bone in. So to give you an idea of what it looks like when I'm down there, when I'm looking for stuff, let's go with a photo that actually this is a video of me down there yesterday of content. You can't see that. Well, yeah, you can. So what you're looking at is hanging beef. And what we're going to do is fabricate some of these to get those yabba dabba doo type of dino ribs out of them. When I'm talking dino, we're talking the entire carcass from one end of the rib to the other. Mm-hmm. And then what you're looking at there is the hindquarters. So I'm going to make one of those into a steamship. So if you think of like a turkey leg, it would be a beef turkey leg. It would be the whole thing, that is going to go onto the Smokeslinger. Whereas for the brisket, we're going to go low and slow because one is a round and the other one is a brisket. It's the pectoral muscles.
So you got a bone-in brisket?
Yeah, I got a bone-in brisket that's on there right now.
I don't think I've ever seen a bone-in brisket.
Oh, you've never put your bone in a brisket? Remember, it's a pectoral muscle.
That's a different conversation.
Well, you
That's the
join the
OnlyFans. You got to go to OnlyFans for that one.
Yeah. All right, TD is going to join us. Daddy Dutch is trimming up his ribs right now. Oh, he's on a drum. So he might have one of Frank's former Super 55 drums. That's great. So TD is going to come out. Oh, there goes the shovel. Who needs that? Oh, the wind is ripping here this morning. Not like by you, but it's enough that it's the chill is just rattling through my body.
Yeah,
that's good. I'm holding. You can see this here. So we're holding. The grate temperature is 232, whereas the pit temperature says it's about 245, but that's off by a little bit.
Well, where's that thermometer laying at that you're reading?
The thermometer is not too far away from the piece of meat. Let's see if you can see.
Is it laying on the grate?
It's hooked onto the grate. Let's see if you can see this. No, see, I got to get the AI tracking has to track me wherever I go. I think once I go a little bit too far of a distance, then it gets freaked out. Get over here, camera.
You'll have a pretty strong temperature increase vertically in that pit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 2 inches could be 20 degrees, but that's what you want for a top-down cook. You want that heat up on top.
There we go. Now I got the AI going again. All right. So the bone-in brisket. Let's see if you can catch that. It's right there. And then the thermometer is right here. So thermometer, brisket. It's going to be a long cook.
Did you do like a 1/4 inch fat cat trim?
Initially, I wasn't going to do any trim at all. I was just going, as is, whereas, to see what would happen. But as I began to fabricate the meat and I looked at the fat that was this thick, I decided I was going to start cutting it down. Then there were some other pieces that were hanging, so I cut those off. That's just going to become sausage. And those pieces of fat, that thick fat that I had, I'll cube that up and then put that into an aluminum pan, and we'll render that down to tallow.
Yeah. I've been cooking eggs every morning in tallow.
Eggs with tallow is the best. If you put that onto the planches, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I get fresh eggs from the neighbor.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Man, those eggs are awesome. They almost taste like they got cheese and butter mixed in.
Yep.
So when did you put the meat on?
Not too long ago. I should have written it down. Normally I come out with a piece of chalk when I'm doing a cook, and I'll just write on the cooker what time I put it on and at what temperature. And then later on you look at it and it looks like, scientist was here the entire time documenting everything. But I forgot with everything else going on, I forgot to grab the chalk.
Yeah.
So let's say I put it on, let me see. How long have I been on here for? I don't even know how long. So it says 40 minutes ago. So call it, let's just say 8 o'clock in the morning. It went on 8 a.m. my time. So I won't be done till midnight, if that, probably later than that.
So how long has it been cooking?
Now it's been cooking for about 40 minutes, maybe an hour. That's about it.
You're not in Central Time?
No, I'm in Eastern Time. So the meat is only 53 degrees right now.
Well, hey, on the Smokeslinger, direct heat pit.
Here comes TD.
Am I live, buddies?
Oh, who's this?
This is TD Price. This is
Oh,
the
yeah,
man right here.
What's up? How are you guys?
the man with the meats.
The man with the meat. That's right.
I wish I could cook all day long every day and not have to work.
You know, when the big man decided to bless me with a nurse, I was like, "Thank you so much." See, how can I? Oh, hold on. How do I get this thing? I feel old now.
Well, if you turn it sideways, then it gets rid of the bars. If that's what you're trying to do.
You said if I turn it sideways?
Yep, then the bars go away.
Well, no, I'm trying to flip my camera because I'm running my two briskets
Oh, you want to turn
now.
the camera around. So there's, as you're on the camera, there's a button that you push and it'll reverse it.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like
If you have an iPhone, it looks like arrows going in a circle.
Yeah, I don't even have that right now, actually.
Wait,
the Android?
Did he join the stream through the link?
Yeah, he did.
See, I don't think you get that option when you do that to the link like that, because I don't see an option to flip mine.
Well then, okay. So I do have the briskets going. They're actually running about 270 now. So here's on the drum smoker.
Okay.
And then of course the pollen infested slinger. So should be a fun cook. I'm excited.
I thought you were waiting for me to come down and I was going to bring a gold label, and we were going to do like a three-way.
Look, listen. You got bougie with the gold label brisket. Okay, I stick to the black label. It's like what, a $30 difference between the two. I'm okay, but we could definitely still do that.
When I was down there at the market yesterday, I was talking to them about Snake River Farms getting the tri-tips. Because I came home with, I think I have 4 prime tri-tips, and they said,
man.
you know, what's the point? What's the point? You got this stuff right here. Why do you need that brand name? Are you putting it on a plate? Is it all about farm to table?
Man, the Wagyu tri-tip is awesome. I actually just ordered from a different company. I know. Sorry, Snake River. Some Wagyu Dino ribs and a Wagyu picanha.
You want to say what the company was?
I'll leave that out for right now.
Is it Keystone? Well, if it's Wagyu, there's only a couple of farms in the United States that will allow a consumer to buy that doesn't go to a restaurant. So it's a handful. That's it. And
no, I'm just kidding. It's RC Ranch out of Texas.
Oh, RC Ranch. Okay.
So
yesterday I was looking. This had come up. Socorro Ranch, because I wanted these Wagyu hot dogs. So I thought about taking those. But the kids, they're always all they want to eat is pizza, French fries, chicken nuggets, you know, hamburger, hot dogs, simple stuff. So to try to get them into something, I figured the Wagyu hot dogs. I came back here with 41 pounds of Kobe beef, of the real Japanese Kobe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's all.
So the kids are getting tonight the Japanese Kobe Wagyu hamburgers. Uh-oh. You got to pay your cell phone bill. You spent all that money on a Snake River Farms briskets. You shut off the cell phone. He'll be back. You walk too far away from the Wi-Fi signal. See, that would be a great item for us to play with as well. Is some of these other cuts of beef. And I had a conversation with some individuals yesterday where, for everybody else, where they don't have accessibility to high-end stuff, it's easier to stick with what you can get at a Sam's Club, a Costco, a Berkeley and Jensen type of place. But even Costco now is starting to carry American Wagyu. So it's not that we're alienating those who don't have access. If Costco has it, they're going to have it. Oh, here he goes. He looks like he's coming back. There he is. Oh, he went in the house. No, he found his internet signal.
Yeah, it just went black on me, and I was like, I can see y'all, but I can't hear you.
It's because all the money you spent on the Snake River Farms. The cell phone company's jealous.
Jesus.
So, what you got a brisket on the Smokeslinger?
Yeah, I have.
How do you
They're both about, after trimming, about 12-ish pounds.
how do
Running
you
the
have it
reverse flow.
configured?
So I got the. Of course, I can't really flip the camera around. So I have my tuning plates, at least on the far side, that is closed off for the reverse flow. Got a little bit of space in between two of the tuning plates, and then between the second and third, some space as well. So pretty much a setup that I've been running the entire time with the reverse flow. I tried the cold smoke. I tried it, and
what happened?
I didn't have the patience for, I didn't have the patience for it. Probably
So
because
so right now is the fire on the same side as the brisket, or is it on the opposite side?
it's on the opposite side.
Okay, I've got that code smoke process figured out now, so I'm going to do a video on that. But there's a lot of prep work.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what I figured out is you want to take, making myself some coffee. I want to tell you this. You want to take your wood and split it into like 2x2 splits, 16 to 18 inches long. And what I did to prep the wood is I stacked up the wood on the top left grate and kind of log cabined it, stacking this way, then this way with a couple inches of space so it could breathe, and just stack them up. You can stack them off the top grate or the bottom grate or the tuning plates
Yeah.
up as high as you want. Then I ran a fire in the lower right side. I was actually just ran charcoal and ran it at like 250 for a few hours to get that wood really dry. I mean, like dry, like dusty dry.
Yeah.
You want it to like resonate when you click them together,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then got them real dry. Then I did a charcoal chimney of charcoal in the lower right drawer. This is for the cooking process. I got that bed of charcoal going, red hot white, where it's ready to cook on, basically. And then I stacked that wood up the same way, except I did like 4-inch gaps both ways, and just stacked that up like 6 or 8 high, and leave the lid open and the door open, and let that bottom start burning for a few minutes. So that way, you've got embers up to that stack in the wood.
Yeah.
And then you chuck your vents down. And what I did is I ran the lower right firebox in the upper left vents and put the brisket on the lower left grate. So it's more like a top down cook. And let me move outside so you're not hearing this coffee machine percolate.
So I think that's what my problem was, because when you sent me the message and you said all wood, that's what I did. I went all wood. I didn't have my.
Well, yeah, I probably left
ready.
out the charcoal thing. I mean, you can do all wood. Just use a weed burner to get it going.
Yeah.
I just used the charcoal to get the wood started. So yeah, I want to do like a complete. I probably do like a live video.
Yeah.
I may do it tonight. I ain't cooked in a few days. I'm starting to wig out. So So yeah, you get that going. Kind of let the flames start burning up to the center of that for a minute or two, and then set your vents for like 170. I think I ran like 170, and put my brisket on that lower left, so that thermometer is reading on top of the meat like an offset. Because if it's on top, you're reading the bottom. So if you're like 250 on that thermometer, you could be at 300 at the lid, the top inside of that lid.
Okay.
So now I'm reading the top of the brisket temp like an offset cooker, running like 170. And about 9 p.m., I set it and I sit there and watch the temps for about an hour, and they held 170 real steady. And then at 3 a.m., I woke up to check it, and it had dropped down to 150, but only because I was running out of wood. So if I would have stacked it higher, I could have ran 5, 6, 7, 8 hours cold smoking it
easily. Oh yeah.
And then I bumped to 220 until the brisket hit the stall. And then I bumped to 275 until I hit 185, 180, and that brisket had a really nice bark on it. So my trim job wasn't super great. It was like a 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick, and like the 1/4 inch stuff rendered out to that nice kind of dirty translucent yellow color. You know what I mean?
Man, that's
It makes
the
it
best
taste
right there.
like when you hit that, that's the flavor.
Oh, absolutely.
So if I
There's
would have had a
nothing like
really consistent trim, and I think probably pushed to 300 the last 30 minutes before I wrapped, I would have really set some, just that real thin layer of crunchy caramelized bark. Then all that fat cap would be rendered out. So once I hit that and wrapped, I ran 275 till it hit like 202. Pulled it out, let it rest down to like 180, 170, and then threw it in a small cooler and just let it out in there for a few hours. And that was great. It was probably one of the best briskets I've ever cooked.
It's something about that very rendered down fat, the flavor part.
Oh yeah,
it's just completely.
If you slice that brisket and you got a white fat cap, you didn't do it right.
Yeah.
You're missing the flavor.
It's funny. Like back in my earlier days, I had a Oklahoma Joe Bronco drum smoker, and I had that fat and I had no idea about it. And people were like, "Dude, you got like the money fat." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they were like, "Try it. Let us know how it is." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! Like, what is this?" So but it comes down to your trimming job. I mean, you can't have you don't do really any trimming on it. I mean, you're really just not going to get that fat renderization that you're wanting, and then you're pretty much chewing the fat, and nobody wants that.
Yeah, that was probably it was 1855 Farms brisket that I trimmed down a lot. I really need to get into making sausage and make some use of that. But I made about a half a mason jar of tallow with all the trimmings to cook my eggs in.
That's good.
But the trim is crucial.
Oh yeah, the tallow has been saving me a lot, especially like with steaks and stuff. I mean, I can get a steak from the grocery store, and surprisingly, cooking it in the beef tallow on the stovetop, man, it completely transformed the flavor profile. And I mean, I'll pop it in the oven when I'm like, 30 degrees out, and then I'll throw it on broil for a little bit and pull it, and then let it sit for about 5 minutes. And I'm like, man, maybe I'm not going to purchase any more $30 steaks from the butcher shop, because they're nice. You got the nice prime quality, but if I can take a $10 T-bone from our local grocery stores like Kroger and Harris Teeter and completely make it taste like a prime steak, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. I have to try that out. I guess if you let it rest in that tallow, it's going to pull some of that up in the meat.
Oh man, it's. I was actually shocked, and even my toddler was like, "Oh my gosh, you make the best steaks." I'm like, "Shut up, girl! You're just saying that, but thank
you." Have you tried confit, where you take like a ton of that tallow and you cook it in that after you've cooked your steak, then you finish it off confit?
No. So I think is it Mad? What's his name? Mad Barbecue Scientist. I started watching him. I really don't get on YouTube a lot, but I've been watching it with you guys being up there and stuff. And I saw that, and he was talking about it. I was like, that sounds interesting. But I mean, that's a lot of tallow, and I mean, you probably need. I mean, unless you buy it, but I don't know how I feel about bought tallow. I mean, it's probably the same thing, but the less hands that it's been through, the better for me.
Right.
Um, but I don't know. Maybe one day I'll try it. I'm still just trying to figure out my life.
So with South Chicago Packing, you can go on Amazon and you can buy a container about so big of Wagyu beef tallow. Then they also have the one that's in the can that's spray. But the commercial side of that business gets you into the 5-gallon jugs. And the reason why they have those is the restaurants now use that to be able to fry their French fries in, chicken, everything
Okay.
else. They're frying everything in tallow. So there's a way through me for you to get a hold of a 5-gallon jug of the tallow. And then it obviously makes sense then because you'll just fill up a aluminum pan with it and then throw your steaks in and put that
Mhm.
back on your Smokeslinger.
Yeah, that'd be
That's the
awesome.
best way to
I'm gonna have
do
to
it.
look into
So
that for
you're not
sure.
buying a retail jar. You're getting it wholesale
Yeah, yeah.
restaurant.
Can't beat that.
I gotta get
You know,
mid
it's
deep
interesting
freeze.
hearing you guys talk about like brisket temperatures, and Dustin saying like 202 and stuff. Do you normally try to pull around a certain temp, or you just kind of wing it every cook?
Are you asking me or Dave?
Uh, Dustin.
Uh, if you have a cheap Walmart brisket and then you've got a prime brisket, those are two different temps.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know
absolutely.
that prime, a space like a Snake River Farms Wagyu, I think may get tender at 195 or 190, or a cheap
Oh
wing
yeah,
brisket,
absolutely.
you may have to hit 210.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I
It's just
just threw
always
that out there
interesting
as
here.
I just kind of threw it out there as an average, I guess. But usually
Yeah,
about 190, 195, I start probing and see what's going on, and then just kind of go by that. I really don't do temp a whole lot. More on just the videos to help explain the process.
yeah,
I'll talk about the
yeah,
temps, but if you cook enough brisket on the same cooker, you know what I mean? You can pick that
oh yeah,
brisket, feel it, and know what's going on. Or you may be running it at night and just naturally wake up like, oh, I need to check the brisket, and it's just time to wrap it. You know what I mean? It's like a
yeah,
sixth sense.
absolutely.
So
Man,
I
the
don't use temperature probes too much, mainly on just chicken, to make sure it's cooked through and things like that.
yeah, yeah, the ever since I've just gone stuck with my sous vide method, I mean, it's really um taking the guesswork out of it for me. Because I mean, you're still checking for at least some type of probe tenderness, but usually like with these Snake Rivers, I might actually take it to about the 195, 200 range, depending on how my fat is looking. But once it's hitting there, I'll pull it, let it rest, sit out to about 160, 155, and then I'll vacuum seal them up. And then I got a kind of a new setup because I was normally using like a cooler, but trying to fill up a cooler that takes, gallons and gallons of water. You're sitting there for a couple minutes and stuff. But now that I got something a little bit smaller but wider, I'm gonna pull these bad boys, let them sit out to 155, vacuum seal them up, throw a little bit of tallow in there, and let it hot hold at 160 for 12, probably 12 to 15 hours. And I found that really sets brisket apart is that long hold. And
Well,
everybody has their theories, and this is the way I like to do it. But like, I'm all about, go ahead.
oh, this delay kind of makes us interrupt each other. But what I was going to say is, if you think about how do you make tallow, it's a long process at a low heat, right? So if you want to make tallow in
Oh
the
yeah,
brisket, you got to
absolutely.
do the same process. So that long hold, you're basically creating tallow within that brisket. And people think water is going to make moisture in the
Oh
brisket.
yeah,
No,
absolutely.
you want fat to make moisture in the brisket. That's why you
Right.
push through the stall is to get the
Yep.
water out.
Yep.
So that fat can render and have a place to go in the meat.
Yep.
And then that long, slow hold lets that process
yeah.
take place. And that's how you make a top 50 restaurant.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely interesting when it comes to, brisket. I think everybody especially that starts out, it's like, oh, I got to make a brisket. And I remember when I first started, I knew nothing. I mean, I probably could cook ribs on it, but like I knew nothing when it came to brisket. And I think I probably did 10 briskets in a matter of 2 weeks of being off. And I was like, what the heck? What the heck? And people were like, oh, are you checking for probe tenderness? I'm like, what are you talking about? Probe tenderness? This is a whole different beast for me. But like I was talking to a guy in the group last night and stuff. He was talking about how his brisket's coming out crappy and stuff. And I was like, man, you just got to not overthink it. I was like, it's so hard to not overthink it because, you got, the social media people telling you, oh, you need to do it this way, do it that way. The key is finding something that works for you and your surroundings. And if it works for you, do it, and because what may work for me may not work for Dave, may not work for Dustin, may not work for Frank, but it's all about that end quality result. And if it is up to our standards, then so be it.
It's like a guy cooking in Arizona. He's not going to have the same cooking experience as me, where it's maybe 70% humidity here, and he's sitting at 15% humidity. Those are two different cooks.
Yep. Oh yeah, I'm interested in when we go out to South Dakota next month for our next contract, how with the elevation change and all that stuff, how that's going to change.
What's the elevation?
Yeah, the elevation is a little bit higher. Way higher than North Carolina.
Well, what I've heard is at the higher altitude, the water cooks out faster, so that makes evaporative cooling kick in quicker and last longer versus in a real humid environment. So maybe you probably start the stall earlier than the cook, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I've seen on Reddit that people were talking about, is that their stall would hit a lot earlier, and then usually a lot of people pull at like 205. We'll just say that, but like a lot of those guys were pulling like at the mid 190 range, which is totally different from me. Like usually 198 is like my sweet spot for a lot of these briskets, at least the quality ones that I find here in North Carolina. But unfortunately, the quality is not going to be the same in South Dakota.
Here's I talked to a guy the other day that's competition briskets, and they cook at 300. But they're trimming their brisket down to like a 6-pound piece of flat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they're pulling at like 210.
Yeah.
Well, me, sometimes if I'm lazy, I'll start smoking about 2 p.m. and get that brisket up to about 180 at 10 p.m. And then wrap it. And my oven goes down to 170. So I'll throw it in the oven at 170 and go to sleep. And when I wake up and I check it, and it's usually tender, ready to go. Then I throw it out and let it rest, or throw it in the cooler till lunchtime. So that internal temp doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's all about the process that you're using. What is that, Dave?
Well, Eric Williams, who cooked competition with the Super 55 drums, who's now definitely in the market for a Smokeslinger, was asking the question. Well, actually, he says he's never seen a bone-in brisket. That's why I felt that this is like an odd thing.
So did you have to get that from the butcher, or was it in the store with the bone in?
No. This is me going down to the market and doing what I do. So this is like, go for it, Dave. Go do it again. Like the picture that I was showing earlier when I was down there yesterday, all the meat is hanging on the hook. So I came back here, for example, like that's yeah, I think you can see that pretty well. So that's the hanging rib, right?
Oh yeah.
It's hanging on the rail. All the meat is hanging on a rail. Let me find something else that for you guys.
So you're basically seeing it. Is that part of the aging process?
I do my own processing when I can.
I mean, are you basically seeing the meat in the cooler where they age it?
Yeah, that's what this is. This is the dry aging room right here. This is that's exactly what this is. It's the dry aging room.
Oh, okay, it's hard to see on here because it's kind of small, but
I know. Well, if I turn it sideways, I don't think it's going to help you. No,
no.
no, that's just what that is. That's the dry aging room.
Oh wow, it's like a kid in a candy store.
Oh yeah, dude. And then what I do is, because I have my own knife skills, I can fabricate my own meat. Like you're a metal fabricator, I'm a meat fabricator. That's all. We got so here's like for example.
I'm just a high tech redneck.
Oh stop. So here's
And
that's meat again hanging on the rail. That's all prime. So what the plan is I'm gonna get one of those and then I'm gonna have to fabricate it. Because if they cut it, I got to take the whole thing anyway. So either they'll cut it, I'll do the rest, or and there it is. There's it with the prime stamp. You know?
So you're inviting us to your house to give us a butcher lesson?
Yeah, I'm not flying this stuff down to Texas.
No, to come to your house.
No, you got to come here. Yeah, you guys got to come up.
That's what I said.
Yeah, there's 18 cookers here, and we'll talk offline. I keep forgetting. It seems like it's just the three of us on like a YouTube, on like a FaceTime call. But there's like a billion people that can go back in history and see this. So I have to watch what I say.
You said 18 cookers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw. I had a guy call in once for a Smokeslinger. He had 72 cookers. I didn't believe him. He sent me a picture of his backyard, and he had 70 cookers in it.
Holy cow!
Eric, how many 70 cookers?
Yeah,
it's wild.
What is it like? Like when I think 70 cookers in my head,
his YouTube channel is Southern Style Barbecue or Barbecue Southern Style.
What?
I'm gonna have to look him up.
He's in like
that's wild.
Carolinas or Virginia or somewhere in that area.
Right, let me just answer Eric's question. So he wants to know if does the bone-in change the cook differently from a regular brisket? Well, we're about to find that out because the majority of people, when they get it, they're picking it up. Even if it's a pack of brisket, it's already been trimmed up, and then all they need to do with a pack of brisket is make it aerodynamic and do a little bit of trimming at home.
So does the bone-in brisket have the same muscles as a regular packer brisket?
More, because I didn't cut all those pieces off. So there's more pieces on here than there would have been.
Kind of like a vacío.
Yep, exactly. Why is TD Price gave me the angry face?
No, my fat fingers. I'm sorry.
My goodness, everybody else puts a like down.
He's got barbecue fingers he can't feel.
Chris Ferraro, you know, Dustin, Harold Pitmasters, they're all happy. And 5 times, not once, 5 times he clicks, he's angry at me.
Oh, for real? Dang. See, yeah, my bad.
Jealous or something, then? Now I got to come down to the Carolinas. I'll do a pig at your yard just to make you happy.
Hey, have y'all cooked enough to lose feeling in any of your fingers yet?
How about everywhere I've cut my hands in the last 24 hours? Stabbed myself with needles.
Oh man, I got welding BB burns, knife cuts, burns from the firebox. My hands are destroyed.
Eric's 11 cookers, but Eric, of your 11 cookers, how many of those are drums? And how many do you? Oh, he wants to add 3 more. Yeah, I got an idea for you. So, being that you're in the competition cook, why don't you add on 2 Smokeslingers? So 2 of the 3 are the most universal cookers on the market, buddy. Then you don't have to take those drums with you. You can use the full-size Smokeslingers and enable those for your KCBS cook. You know, this thing's great, but this only does low and slow. This is it's one function, traditional Texas offset cooking. Whereas a Smokeslinger gives you multi-regional and universal cooking. I think the bone-in is going to change it from the standpoint that the same way that you get a steak that has a bone-in, it always tastes better when you get to the bone. But if I gave you a tomahawk, for example, it would have a much better flavor.
Oh, that's
Oh,
got
wait,
disconnected.
yeah, he'll be back. Well, you'll see him. He'll be back. He probably lost his Wi-Fi connection as well.
So, are you cooking the gold brisket?
No. So the gold brisket, Snake River Farm sent me a gold brisket. It's I think it's 18 pounds. I believe it's an 18 pounder. I don't remember. I can go look. It's in the walk-in box.
I think it was when I saw the picture that you posted.
No, this
That's
brisket is USDA prime. This was hanging yesterday, and I picked this up at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I was there yesterday, just doing my thing, and we were kicking around ideas for about 90 minutes on content, what we can do. So one of the things that'll be coming up is the entire round on the cow. So the round is the hind leg, if you think of it this way. So we'll go back to the anatomy and physiology. So you have the entire thigh. Okay, that whole all the muscles all the way go. In fact, we're going beyond the knee. We're going all the way down to the ankle. So everything there, we're going to have to cut down, and I'm going to have it fabricated into a steamship so that it looks like a turkey drumstick, but it's the entire hind quarter of a cow.
And what are you cooking that on?
That one's going to be done on the Smokeslinger. So to do that, we're going to have to drop it to the second level grates in order for me to be able to close the top. I got to measure that to make sure it's going to fit before I do this.
Would that be a good time to take the drawers out and put coals on the bottom to manage the heat?
I was thinking the same thing, but it also gives me that cook is going to take me over 30 hours. So it might make more sense to leave the charcoal baskets in so that I can get a break every now and then instead of what I'm doing here, where every so often I got to turn around and manage the fire.
Yeah.
I'm doing this because our live stream on Tuesday, people were asking me to they wanted this whole thing live streamed. They came up with this genius idea that if I sit out here for 17 hours, it makes sense. And I don't agree with that.
We need to come up there and take shifts. Rotate.
That's the thing. We need to take shifts. It's going to weigh 100 pounds.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's a big boy.
Yeah, consider that.
Whew. Don't do leg day that day.
Nah.
That would be something cool to cold smoke for a while and then crank the heat.
Oh yeah.
You know, applewood on beef is pretty good. You ever tried that?
No.
Yeah, I did a brisket once with applewood, and it was pretty good. Anyways, I got to hop off here. I got to go meet my in-laws. Yeah.
Why would you want to go meet with them?
I got to go.
Why?
Make my rounds and visit some people.
Don't do that. Here.
I'll be back. I'll be back later. I'm gonna go pick up something to cook today or tonight.
What do you want to make? What are you thinking?
I don't know. I may do that cold smoked brisket deal again and go live with it and go through the process.
You have any flank steak?
I don't. I mean, I can get some.
You have bavette? You have any? Just like the soft cushion meat, or picanha? How about some picanhas? Those are great for dinner.
Yeah, I have to go over to Costco and look for some of that, or hit a meat shop on the way through Dallas.
That's why if you came here to the house, you just go, "I want this." I go, "That's over there. Just go get it. Go pull it out."
I gotta go from Canton to Louisville and back.
I don't know what that is. There's
Louisville is like you know where 35 West is above Fort Worth?
Yes.
It's kind of between that and out there, maybe past DFW Airport a little ways.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of north of DFW, just maybe 20 minutes. So it's about an hour drive for me.
So Eric wants a Smokeslinger for the competitions. He needs to get one and learn how it cooks. I think the first step is coming down to a meetup and cooking on it so that he can do his timing for a competition and know what it's going to look like. Then it's an easy sale. Then you'll know with the benefit of having one of these, having a drum.
I can tell you something you can do on the Smokeslinger that you can't do in a lot of the drums is I can run that thing from 150 to 650 degrees, direct or indirect,
Right.
without burning things, you know.
Yep.
Actually, we ran it at 500 recently to cook pizzas, and those are pretty freaking good.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways, I got to get off here and go get ready. But
Right.
I don't know. I'm gonna think about what to cook tonight. If you got any ideas, shoot me a text or throw it in the chat, and I'll take a look later. But I definitely want to cook something tonight while it's not hot.
Well, I'm going to be on and off throughout the day because I got to sit out here and baby this thing. And by the time we come back the next round, I may already be intoxicated. People are telling me to move away from the beers and start drinking Bloody Marys. They want the hard life. They don't want people today because this is, and they're right. You know, when we're drinking, normally we drink light beer. I went straight to a heavy beer. This is a Bock, so it's a dark, heavy beer. If I stick with alcohol like hard liquor, we're better, and I'm more fun that way. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth. That's why, you know. Next thing you know,
I believe it.
I can think of two kids that would join in, you know, and you never know what I'm going to say next.
Them two kids are ready to hurt you.
But they are. They don't know how to take a joke. Those kids don't know what funny is.
Yeah, they're okay. They're good. But anyways, I guess I got to get off here and get going.
All right.
I'll see y'all later.
I'm going to grab another cocktail of choice. I'm not leaving. Oh, here he is. He's back. Good. He'll hang out here with me. He's not leaving.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good. Oh, I need this wind to die down. It's killing me. Let's see. I had mentioned to Frank about going up and cooking with him on his, but would love to come to meet up and cook with you guys. So yeah, if you you go to Frank, he's in Missouri, which is closer to you. However, if you come down to Canton, Texas, the second Tuesday of every month, that's where we're doing it, as long as it's not a time when we have tornadoes like right now. Yeah, because that's exactly what will be going on next weekend. In fact, I believe that Dustin's hosting it. I'm not coming down there. The next one that I do, we're going to do a meetup, but it's a little bit more involved. The thought process behind this is Thursday, we'll go to 3 different big name smokehouses, cooking places, barbecue joints. Friday, we'll prep everything, the best of what we saw at those 3. Saturday, we'll cook it all. And then Saturday night, we go out, decompress, and everybody goes home Sunday.
That sounds awesome.
I can confirm one already. That's Zavala's. That is on board with us. And then I believe the other one is going to be Pecan Lodge. And the last one's not confirmed yet, but it should be Black's Barbecue. Because you have Terry Black's and you have Black's, but I think it's going to be Black's Barbecue. They're across the street from each other, fairly close. So we would go in. Zavala's has been really, really open about this. We have somebody who's doing it that's going to help us out. So that'll get us into the pit room. That'll get us behind the scenes on everything, platters of food, and then we move on that afternoon to the next place. Then that evening we move on to dinner someplace else. So we'll hit 3 of the top 50 spots in Dallas, then prep Friday. So say with Zavala, say they're known for sausage. So we'll do a Zavala's sausage recipe. With Blacks, we'll do something else.
and then Pecan Lodge, what they're known for. So we'll take the top of each restaurant, and that way we have 3 different items, and we'll space it out: a breakfast item, a lunch item, and a dinner item.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. So Eric, if you want to come to that, you'll have an awesome time. And if you have, I know you said you're going to go to South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you wanted to fly in for that, then you're obviously another set of hands that can help us out with the cooking because you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to make it out there.
We talked about doing an alligator. Let's get to smoke an alligator.
Oh, that'd be.
Yeah. My thing's the cooking side. That's why you're between the nursing and the cooking. I have a lot in common with you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about going up to the local butcher shop. They got a bunch of whole hogs and kind of measuring out what part of the pig I can actually throw on this and do like the coals on the bottom and stuff. Because I think that's a handful of people have been wanting to see is what this the mini slinger at least put out. And I think I've been pretty good with, hey, you can do some, bunch of briskets, yada, yada, yada. But like, what else can we do, So
You do a suffering pig.
So yeah, we'll see. I just got to make it up there.
You
They're
have,
like 30.
do you have a wild fork by you at all?
No. I can order them online, but we don't have a goal.
Okay.
That's like when people talk about Costco business, like North Carolina doesn't have that. So at least I don't think.
Yeah. The Costco Business Center I went to in California was awesome. The one that I went to in Dallas was great. And the one that I went to New Jersey was a disaster. And it just didn't make sense. I got there. I'm like, why? What is different between this Costco and a normal Costco? How are you business related? That's why I prefer, if I'm going to go to the Costco Business Center in Hackensack, New Jersey, I'm just going to go across the GW Bridge and go back to the Bronx.
Yeah.
And hogs are eating.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to do it. It might actually just be when we get to South Dakota, because we got like a solid month in North Carolina, and with us moving everything to Ohio to be home based and everything, which actually be a lot closer to Pennsylvania for you. So that'd be nice. So we'll see. Definitely want to do it though. It'll be fun.
If I had a choice, I would go down south. I would go to the Carolinas or Florida before coming back up north, because right today, this is freezing. And the winter times are, if you've ever been up north, you're out there with the snow blower, the plow, everything else is ice. So you can't play with these toys.
Yeah. I mean, you can if you want to freeze your butt off.
That's like I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were in Ohio back in 2023, and I was like, this snow is not for the weak at all.
No.
I don't think I cooked hardly any during this the wintertime. But it was fun, though. I mean, the kids loved the snow. I didn't, especially being a Carolina boy. But we'll see. Definitely.
Yeah, you're in North Carolina or South Carolina?
North Carolina.
That's awesome, North Carolina. So your thing is, I guess it's vinegar and pepper based, not mustard based, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people have their opinions on that, and every state does something differently, but it's so different here because the area that I'm in, we're more so like the Eastern Carolina style, but then you'll find some places where they try to have like a nice mixture where, okay, hey, we won't use the Eastern Carolina style flavoring. We'll just do like a standard, cook your pork butt and here's your barbecue sauce and stuff. But then you go, like, I'm an hour and a half from like Winston-Salem, Lexington, North Carolina. Lexington does, I think they might do like, I don't know if it's ketchup base or something. I don't know. Whatever base it is, I don't like it. Um, to me, it overpowers the pork flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where a lot of people kind of get North Carolina confused on, oh, well, you guys use vinegar base and all this stuff like that. But at least in my experience, the vinegar base for the Eastern Carolina style, you can still genuinely taste the pork flavor. It's not overpowered by any sauces or anything like that. Whereas, you go out to Lexington where they're using, I believe, like I said, ketchup base, it completely changes it completely, and you're just pretty much tasting the sauce. And I didn't like it, not really my cup of tea. But then you go out towards the mountains, Asheville, and they're more of a sweeter style barbecue sauce and stuff like that. So it's, I mean, realistically, North Carolina has like 3 different style barbecue methods that people like to use, but you know, whatever you like, North Carolina has it. They're definitely not known for brisket, even though there are many places in North Carolina that puts out some killer brisket, I will say. Um, but a lot of the guys here, they're more so, instead of being, the traditional salt and pepper vibe and, this is how we're going to do it, they kind of put like a nice twist to it, which is nice to kind of see, you know. But it's not Texas barbecue. Everybody wants to talk about Texas and Kansas City barbecue and stuff. And, I won't get on the Kansas City train because I have my opinions about them after spending 6 months in Kansas City. Good barbecue places, but some of those heavy hitters that people talk about is kind of a little overrated for my liking.
You talk about the restaurant.
Yeah, just kind of like, I think, and don't hold me to it, but I think some of the places like to use molasses in their sauce.
Yeah,
And being in Carolina, my grandparents love using molasses for pretty much, especially like homemade biscuits and stuff. And it's just, I don't know, it's either you like molasses or you don't, and I don't. And so when I taste barbecue sauce that has molasses in it, it just throws me off completely. But I will say though, there's a guy that's in the group. I want to say his name is Jared Wolf. I know his last name is Wolf, but there's an
okay.
awesome spot in Kansas City, Missouri called Wolfpack Barbecue. And that was the first barbecue spot that I tried in Kansas City, and it's absolutely phenomenal. He actually shared their raspberry cheesecake recipe with me in the group. So if anybody wants some raspberry cheesecake, find his name and you'll find the recipe, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And I love cheesecake, so I was actually very happy that he was willing to share that with me. So, Jared, if you're out there, you end up watching this, thank you. I've already told you that the cheesecake came out phenomenal, but yeah, it's nice to see. It's especially nice being, in the travel nurse and stuff, man, being able to see, different styles of barbecue. I mean, being in Ohio, I mean, other than the one place that's out in Columbus that I had, that's phenomenal. Dayton, Ohio area really doesn't have the barbecue scene like they want to.
Right.
But that's the joy in barbecue. Everybody does it differently, and if it works for them, it works for them.
I would,
Not
if I
everybody's
was
gonna
in
like it.
North Carolina, where, because you mentioned the eastern part of North Carolina, I'm still really looking forward to getting to the Skylight Inn, um, and hopefully, if I got there, Sam Jones would be there, or his dad.
Hmm.
I want to tour the old pits, and there's so
Oh yeah.
many people from the. I use this word lightly. YouTube influencers, Facebook influencers that go out there. I'm very from a business and marketing standpoint. I'm very skeptical about using those type of words.
Yeah.
Uh, but I just want to. I'm not there to shoot content. I'm there just to. I want to see it. I want to I want to be able to take in the smell in that room. I want to visualize it so that I can bring that back and do it on my own and teach others that style of cooking instead
Yeah.
of from videos. I think
Yep.
there's a big difference between watching a video and someone telling you how to do it versus
Absolutely.
you watch the entire process and then you have the opportunity to taste what it came out with. You know, the
Yep.
sauce that you're using. How did you put this vinegar pepper sauce together? What I don't need to know all the ingredients. I just need to know what it tastes like so that I can deconstruct that and make it on my own.
You know, there's a there's a local sauce, especially the Eastern Carolina style. It's called George's, and if you want some type of authentic Eastern Carolina vinegar sauce, you can actually buy it online. I did that when we were in Ohio, and I think you can buy like I think it's maybe like 12 to 16 ounce container of it. You actually could buy it on Amazon. You might actually pay a little bit more than if you buy it directly from George's
Right.
website. But
Yep.
that stuff, man, like that's the only stuff that I use, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And I actually used that. I did a pork butt for my wife's coworkers one night when we were out in Ohio, and they completely demolished it. They were like, "Oh my gosh, this vinegar sauce is amazing! Like, this is the best thing ever." So that made me happy being able to bring some Eastern Carolina barbecue to
Right.
little old Dayton, Ohio, and stuff. But that stuff, man, is absolutely. It's gonna give you the closest thing to the real thing without actually being there, learning the process of the vinegar sauce and everything. And a lot of people think about the vinegar sauce and, oh, it's just vinegar, but it's a lot more to it. You got your red pepper flakes. You got a nice mixture where it's not so heavily overpowered by the vinegar sauce. Um, it's like the topic when people talk about barbecue sauce on ribs and stuff. Like, oh, it's overpowering. But if you know how to use it appropriately, it's not going to overshadow the 5+ hours that you spent on cooking something. And
Right.
that's why I try not to get too heavily involved with the Facebook people and TikTok and Instagram. Like, oh, don't use sauce. If you put sauce on it, you didn't cook it right. But everybody has their way of doing things. And if somebody wants to use some barbecue sauce, let them use some barbecue sauce.
It's using it in the right volume. If you wanted to drink a bottle of barbecue sauce, you do that. So someone
Yep.
who completely slathers those ribs up, not to the point where they're sticky, but it's just they're dripping. That's you've taken away from the time that the pitmaster put in to make the ribs. You took away from the smoke flavor. You took away
Yep.
from that first bite of when you taste those ribs. You're just
Yep.
drinking a bottle of barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So the vinegar that you use, is it a white vinegar or do you use a red wine vinegar or white wine vinegar?
It's a red vinegar, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't say it's apple cider because I think apple cider is a little bit different than
Okay.
red vinegar. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to look at the actual ingredients. I don't like when it comes to the vinegar stuff. I really don't. I've never actually made my own vinegar sauce for my barbecue. I've always just bought George's because I can find it local. But it's actually an interesting question because I know there's different styles of vinegar, but I don't know if it's actually apple cider vinegar or if that's. I'll have to look into that. That's actually interesting.
Yeah,
But,
apple cider vinegar is obviously made from fermented apples,
yeah.
where white vinegar, I don't recall what the base to a white vinegar is.
Yeah. Which I wouldn't be surprised if they add like a nice little splash into it.
Yep.
I tell you what, man, I'm kind of bored knowing that I don't have to man the mini slinger so much. Like I'm like, even the drum
That's a
smoker,
bad thing?
I rarely use this thing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, kind of bored. Like, I need to do something with my life, But so if you're watching this, yes, the slinger holds temperature like a complete champ. Like think I've been on this live maybe almost close to an hour, and I haven't even I've touched it, but I ain't done nothing to the fire. Like I'm just like,
Right.
man, I'm kind of bored. So yeah, if you're out here watching, tell me, man, the slinger it's nothing like it. Like go Facebook marketing ads, because that was the only way that I found it, and ever since I found it, that was it. I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I feel like no, I won't go into that. I feel like a barbecue addict now.
I started off as far as when we talk about barbecue with like a barreled smoker. I started off with a Weber Smoky Mountain. I mean, before that I had gas grills, but I started off with the Weber Smoky Mountain. That then got me into see, what was the next one? I don't remember. Man, I don't know, because now I'm up to 18 different cookers, but those also include gas cookers.
hmm
I think I went with probably something with charcoal or something with wood after that, and then the most recent one is this guy right here. And I've been looking forward to pulling this out, but the weather has to cooperate. The winters don't work with it. Not up here, not in
Oh yeah,
not in the Pocono Mountains. So you talk about high elevations. I'm up here in the
yeah.
mountains.
Oh yeah. And it's cold. I kind of wish it was cold, because here, man, I think today. Hopefully today is less muggy, because yesterday was extremely muggy. And trimming those briskets outside just to have some good light. And I mean, by the end of those videos, I was like, I'm ready to be done with this completely.
Right.
So it really wasn't the quality you wanted to put out, but I was like, you know what? I told them that I would do it, and I'm one that if I say something, then I'm gonna do it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna stick to it and stuff like that. So first video wasn't really exactly what I wanted it to be, but the second video, the trimming and then going through, 3-4 hours into the cook and stuff like that, and showing how my fuel source is, it's going to be way better and stuff. And plus I use my laptop to edit that video, and trying to find all the controls and everything, whereas just doing it on my cell phone is a lot easier. So I'm gonna go
Right.
back to what I know and am comfortable with, and I know, how to delete stuff out and stuff. So the second video, I promise, is gonna be a lot better than that first video. So I have to make that up to you guys, because I don't know what I was thinking with that first video. But hey, but going back to cookers, man, like I started off with a pit barrel cooker, and that, I mean, I used that for about a good solid year to kind of get my foundation down, and it was fun. Um, that's where you really learn to trust your lighting method, and noticing if you're running way too hot or way too cold and stuff like that. And then I
Mm-hmm.
jumped into the Master Built Gravity series. I had a Master Built 1050, which was at the time the biggest size that they had. And then that took the guesswork out of my temps and stuff like that.
Hey
This is
Hello,
guys.
sir.
this is Scott Drosky. He was with us at the last meetup down there in Kenton, Texas. He was there when we did the traditional Carolina style Texas pig. And that was,
Okay.
just to let you know, on the full size, we fit a 48.5 pound pig, no problem. So that's why I'm saying for you, you should have no problem fitting a 25 pounder.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, you should have. I don't think you'll have an issue at all. The only question that comes into play: are you going to do a burn barrel and pitch coals, or are you going to use your charcoal baskets? What's the best way for you to do that with a mini?
I mean, you know me, I'm all about going all out no matter what. So I think um, doing the burn barrel method is going to be my
Yeah.
best option, especially because I've noticed, like, just, I mean, and it could have been just the way that I was running my fire at the point when I was doing I did 70 some wings on the first row, and
Nice.
I noticed the temperatures closest to the thermometer side was a tad bit lower. But I mean, again, it could have just been just the way my tuning plates and stuff was set up. Plus, I
Right.
was tired of cooking. I had been up all night doing 3 briskets and stuff. So don't hold me to it, but definitely think doing the burn barrel, getting some of that fresh coals in there at the bottom of that mini slinger is going to, allow me to get that even temperature from corner to corner. Whereas, using the charcoal basket where, ideally, where your hot spots are, your radiant heat is going to be at and stuff. So I think if I'm going to do it right, I might as well do it right and actually do the burn barrel and be a man about it,
Yeah. It's
I think
interesting doing it that way. It's a bit of work, you're going to be up the whole time. Your neighbors behind the fence are going to, see what looks like a bonfire going all night long.
I didn't
Oh, yeah,
realize while I was
absolutely.
down there, I'm not built for overnights anymore.
Man,
That cold-
so funny
that-
story.
Go
So
ahead.
so when I was in law enforcement, I worked night shift for pretty much my entire almost 9 years of being in law enforcement. So night shift was nothing for me. I could stay up no matter what. But now that I'm
Right.
in my 30s and I have a toddler and I don't do night shifts anymore, I'm just this every day, I'm going to bed by 9, 10 o'clock at night. That last brisket cook, it tested my mental power because drove back from South Carolina after coming back from Florida, got back here around 2:30, got briskets on, and before I knew it, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And you want to talk about being delirious?
Oh boy.
I was just ready for it. I was like, please just hurry up and come down to temperature so I can wrap you and go to sleep. And I was hurting for a couple of days, but hey, it was for my mom's birthday, so everybody was happy with the end result and stuff. So that's all that matters. But like you said, that night shift life, man, you gonna have to give me some IV pumps or something, because
Well, I
when
can
it's my time to go. When it's my time to go to get up and man the pit, you gonna have to set 3 alarms for me, because the first one I ain't gonna wake up. The second
Yeah.
one is gonna be my, oh yeah, I do need to do something.
Yeah, these guys, the 3 guys took like an hour and a half, spells and sleeping, and that was it. And I said, I ran back to the Airbnb and said, I'll be back in an hour. Just want to, take a 1 hour snooze. And 4 hours later, I woke up. So I took a little bit of crap when I got back to the cook site.
Oh yeah. For a 28-hour cook, or 28 hours of cooking, I should say, I only slept 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
But
you
TD,
know
I
what,
just
Scott?
wanted to jump on real quick and tell you that, man, I really, really appreciate your content on Facebook. When I see your stuff pop up, it's detailed. It's extremely helpful. It's not just, talking or, quick messages. It's thorough, and you've helped me a lot, man. So I just wanted to jump on and thank you very much. So there you go.
Oh, you talking to me?
I'm talking to you, TD.
Yeah.
Oh man, oh dude, I appreciate it. Don't make me cry now. Holy cow, man!
I'm
Don't
serious.
do that. Man, I'll say this, man. I really do appreciate it, man. You guys are awesome, and everybody, if you're in other Facebook groups, especially barbecue related, you know how the trolls and stuff can be, and it can be really,
Yep.
disheartening to watch and stuff like that. And so I feel like we have a really nice group of I think we're at 1.4K members in the group, and man, it's awesome to get the nice feedback and everything, and people are like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And so it helps me, because I know the information I put out is going to actually be taken oh my gosh, I never thought about that, and oh, that helps me. But it also, I'm learning at the same time. Some of the stuff I'm just like, you know what, let's try this, see if it works. And so
Yeah.
Right.
it works out. But I appreciate your words, man, for sure.
Yep.
And I'll definitely keep going with it for sure, and see where it takes us.
You, Dave, and Frank, and Dustin, you're my go-to team. So I appreciate you. I'm going to jump off and get some honeydews done, so I'm allowed to cook tonight. So,
Oh boy.
all right. You guys have anything going on live later? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to be on and off. People have asked that I do this all day long, but I got to take breaks. I can do this in moderation. I can't do this all day like this.
Well, thanks, you
No,
guys. I appreciate you letting me in, and I'll look for you.
awesome.
All
Thank you,
right.
Scott.
Take care, guys.
Okay. Hi, baby.
How old's your little one? I hear her.
She'll be 4 in July.
I got a
And it's
3-year-old. So just like you got a 3-year-old right now.
it's not for the weak, but I love it, man. I truly do. Like it's honestly made me a better person. I feel like like now I have somebody that's half of me, if you want to say, and it's an awesome experience.
Yeah.
She definitely teaches me to have patience because them toddlers will test your patience like no other. Like I think at first I dealt with more stress of like how to be a parent than doing the everyday cop stuff. So I love it. She's the joy of our world. So my wife keeps hinting at another one. I'm like, hey, now don't do this to me now. How about a dog? How about we get you a dog? Or get you a cat or something. I don't know. But, oh man. Well, I think I'm gonna get off of here and get some breakfast because I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a bite myself and grab a hot cup of coffee because I am frozen.
I believe it. I would
Yeah,
rather, you know what? No, I wouldn't say I'd rather be cold because every time it's cold, I'm like, no, I wish it was warm. So I'm gonna
right.
take my weather. It's not muggy. It's nice outside. So I will talk to you later, bud.
You got it. Great seeing you.
Same. Take care.
Have a good one. Bye. All right. I 7 dislikes. Who's giving me 7 dislikes? TD is the only one with the dislike. Everybody else has a like in here. So mean. So mean. All right. I'm going to end the stream for now. I'm probably going to come back on in about an hour and a half from now. I'm also going to grab a bite to eat. Maybe fill up a thermos of hot coffee. Definitely get myself a jacket and probably something else to shelter myself from the incoming rain that's coming once again. So we'll see you in probably figure an hour, hour and a half. Talk to you then.